my phone is live. Yeah, it means people on the internet can see everything. Hey. Hi.
Hi, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Sorry, what do I call? What's your name?
Sure, my name is Bismarck.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
You need to mute. You need to mute your speaker. Sorry, what do I call? What's your name?
Sure, my name is Bismarck.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Let me see.
Because I'm getting a loop. I'm getting a feedback loop.
Is this better?
Yeah, it is better. It's actually better if you use your headphones
You
because
have
it doesn't create a fake feedback loop.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
Okay. So right now I'm okay. No, you take over the presentation and then show me some of the functionality and then see how we can see how we can use it.
Sure.
See one of the if we could be one of the vendors.
No problem. If you look at the link I sent you for YouTube, you should be able to see us live right now.
Yep, I have that on my other laptop right now. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool. So so I can actually fix it in a way that I can change the way it looks. You can see the slide right now on the right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that can be anything, can be a video, can be a PowerPoint slide, or can be a website. It doesn't really matter. I can actually put anything on top of it, or I can shift it to between just you and me. So it becomes a you and me kind of interview or hosting, or if you have another person that comes in, it'll be 3 of us. Actually, I can support up to 6 people. There can be 6 people on the panel, so I could be one interviewer or one, host and 5 different panels. And I can switch between the 4 of them or 5 of them.
That's very good. No, that's very, very encouraging. So right now, let's say, assuming that you are the keynote speaker and you have a PowerPoint that you want to be able to add on to it, how would that look like? Or you have to come back and do that later?
No, you would have to send me the file first.
Okay.
So I can be prepared and I can just load them up when I need it. So for example, I just removed the PowerPoint earlier, right? Now I say I want to put it back. I can just put it back this way. Or if I put it as a keynote speaker with the PowerPoint on the side.
That makes sense. Okay. I'm more of a visual learner. If you don't mind, just any document that you have that you want to upload, and let me just see. It could be a dummy file, it could be even a blank.
Sure. So yeah, no problem. So what I normally do is when I host these things, I normally encourage the organizers to also run a quiz like this one. Okay. So if you do enter the URL on top where it says ahaslides.com/karate, right? It's an interactive thing, so everybody in the audience can participate. And as I go, let me just show it to you. Okay. So when you do that, I can say, for example, I run a quiz. Yeah. So this has already been done. So I need to erase let me just erase the.
That's fine.
The answers, then it'll be easier. Okay. So basically, I can load any slide I want or any PowerPoint, and I can post it up. And you'll see exactly what I do as well. Okay. Say, for example, I can put up. Okay. Slow on the network for now.
That's fine.
Yeah, just too many of us. Oh yeah. If I'm not mistaken, this is the website that you guys have. UIC, but NYC. Could you tell me a bit about what you guys do?
Sure, no problem at all. So Plugin is a web RTC advocacy firm. So when I say advocacy, we actually work with education, small business, and policymakers. And we create content, so around education, around training. And then what makes us a little bit different in the market is that we actually bring in the web RTC component. This is an example of this, right? So being able to use an RTPM, streaming, or any other connection where they can look at the content in real time. So whatever content we create, we give them a platform that they can engage with it in the moment. And that's what we do. It's about 7 people on the team, very small.
Cool.
And we're just trying to get some accounts now because of COVID-19. Business has been interesting. So now we just want to pivot. And that's what we do.
Totally understand. That's cool.
Okay.
There isn't many slides here, so that should be quite fast. Okay. All right. So say we go back to this, and we start off with a quiz for everyone. As we go along, and we can start with, for example, okay, that's. Right. They can. Yeah, so that's it's like the slides bringing up. So we start off with a kind of a quiz for them to just get some energy to participate and stay attentive to that.
That's very good.
I run all this stuff as well. Okay, let me just quit this for now.
Okay.
And so at the end of it, it's kind of fun. So it gets people engaged and get people ready to listen to the talk or to the lecture that you guys might be doing. And then what I can do then, I'll switch it back to the maybe yourself and the main speaker,
Okay.
and you can introduce the main speaker, and they can talk about who is he is, what's his profile, what's his background,
Right.
and then when it's time for him to speak, I can switch it back to a main speaker plus a slide type environment.
I understand.
And as he talks to the slide, I can forward the slides as needed. Right.
That makes sense. Okay, so
Yeah.
let me ask you some few questions. Then, well, first of all, thank you very much for even putting all this effort and time to trying to show us what you can do. I did go on to StreamYard,
Yeah.
and I saw the packages that they have. So,
Right.
number one, if I think they have a professional package for $49.99 a month.
Correct.
Okay, so if we subscribe to that, do we still have you as a technical support that kind of puts all of this together, or is this something that you do once for us and then we are on our own?
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm offering a service myself to
Okay.
help set up and run the hosting if needed. Because like yourself, I'm doing exactly kind of the same thing, where people wants to run events online right now, and
Correct.
they need a host, they need a person who can speak and deliver the content that's required. I normally just host the event. I don't run the event,
Okay.
right? So and I provide tools like this quizzes and all that to
Okay.
help, and because I have experience in a lot of event management stuff as well personally. But personally, I mean, for work, I am actually an IT consultant. So I
Okay.
solve IT problems for people, for big companies.
Right. Right. That's great.
Yes, yeah. So in a sense, I'm just looking for this as a side income. I'm just helping people who needs this kind of solution, who needs a host, and because I'm quite connected worldwide, I come from Singapore myself.
Okay.
I got an uncle in New York itself, New York City, and so even in sometimes there are multilingual audiences, especially for example Chinese. I've got people who can actually do the translation directly. I can have a co-host myself who can host together with me. Sorry about the light.
That's fine.
Yeah, who can co-host with me, who can do the Chinese version while I do the English version. I myself can do Cantonese, so I can cover markets like Hong Kong as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's very encouraging to hear that.
Right.
So let me tell you what we want to do then. Obviously, if we decide to go forward, I'm looking at some other vendors to see what would be the best for us to do. We have an event on the July 22nd, where you're gonna have roughly, um, let's say 50 people in one
Right.
platform,
Right.
one room, but then the rest of the overflow like this, they can watch it streaming wise. So when we advertise it, we can tell them that look, here's a link where you can just like you did with the YouTube. That's an example. So if anybody else go on YouTube, you can watch it live stream.
Right.
But it will be very passive, but they can't really participate, right? So if I'm watching on YouTube, can I participate?
You can. You actually, if you type a question right now, it will go directly into the whole question. And this is what I do as a host. If you are the main speaker, I can bring up the question and ask it to you in that sense, right? And then the main speaker can respond online, can respond on the video, so it doesn't get lost in that sense.
Yes, and that's what we will need, is it?
Correct.
So please tell me which benchmark, and just an example.
Okay, just type it in. I'll bring it up.
Okay. I just did that already.
Okay, probably takes a bit. No, don't do it on a private chat. You gotta do it on the. Don't do it on the chat when you're looking at me right now. Don't do it on the chat there. Do it on the YouTube chat, the live chat.
Okay.
Oh, so coming back to what I'm trying to say, I don't provide the platform. In fact, I subscribe to the platform itself.
Okay.
A lot of companies do not want to do the subscription, so I subscribe and I provide the whole package totally. That means I already have the subscription, and I can provide the platform. I can host it. I can create the content as required. For example, if you look at the branding that you have right now, the top bar, the logos on the side and the bottom, and you say welcome and welcome as a title. I can change that dynamically as when needed. For example, like this.
Okay.
And the sticker at the bottom, I can pause it or put it on live if needed. So things like this, informational things that you can put onto the broadcast itself.
I see. I understand now. No, no,
Right.
that's very helpful, and that's one less headache that we have to worry about. Um, your light is if you can adjust your light a little
Yeah,
bit,
sorry,
that'll be
sorry.
great.
Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you so much.
Gotta keep
Um,
moving to the sun instead setting.
yeah, I understand. Let me ask you a question. So you did say it already. So in the broadcast, you can have up to 6 co, right? And then the maximum on the package that I saw on their website was 10. So
I could have, sorry, yeah. Just let me clarify. I can have 10 people on the call, but at any point in time, I could have 6 live. I mean, 6 people can be live on the spot. So what I normally have to do is when people are talking and I need to bring in a new speaker, I will switch one out and switch one in. I just swap them.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
Okay, so now I got your comment. I think your comment is there. Now, if I put on the comment out,
yep, I just saw that.
yeah, you can see the comment out, right? So the comment gets published directly, and then I'll ask, the main speaker, whoever, Mr. So and so, will you please tell us about, which benchmark do you use to get where your results are coming from?
Exactly. Exactly. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, so I do not provide a platform. StreamYard provides a platform. I'm subscribed to it. You don't need to get an additional subscription. But if you want to do it yourself, you can. Then you do not need me. You just subscribe to it and you try to build it yourself. It's just that what I'm offering is sorry again. What I'm offering is that I've already done this quite a few times.
I like that.
I've also done it on other platforms. So and hence I'm saying that I can provide you a service to completely get you up and running for the event itself. Now, if you want me to host it, I could host it. If you want somebody to host it, it's fine. If you want to host it yourself, it's fine as well. So it doesn't matter. We're flexible.
I understand. Well, for first and foremost, we will prefer for somebody else to host it, and we'll just
Right.
provide like the same thing you're doing. We'll provide the content, we'll provide the personnel, and set up the event, and then you be the technical expert that organizes it on that side.
Mhm.
For what we're trying to do on the 27th, I'm really trying to see how this will fit because I definitely know that I would need 50 people on the screen, right?
Mhm.
And then the streaming part of it is very, very important, which is it solves that for the overflow for all the other people that want to attend. But
I
what we
understand.
also do is I'm thinking about how I can work with you because we do training, right? I do training. I get topics, and then
Right.
for the training, I don't need people to be on the screen. So it's just about you subscribe to the topic.
Right.
We tell you that our partner here, the trainer, and maybe I'll use as an example. If you have like a panel that supports the training,
Yeah.
it can be on the screen out of the 5.
Sure.
And they have their content. They can provide us with the content.
Yep.
And then we do that. So let me ask you the follow-up question. If we decide to use you for training,
Mhm.
now what about if the presenter has the trainer has material that they want to share with me?
Mhm.
How do we do that? How do we do that? Like if he wants me to be able to download the material, I'm kind
Yeah.
of curious.
The normal process that people usually do, as I see it out there, is you put it on Dropbox or put it on some sharing website that as you talk and as you are ready to let people download the content, you can flash out the URL and for people to download the content at the end. Or as part of your package, as you sign out, okay, you can listen to the talk, a certain time, certain date, log on to this website. And then for additional content, download from this link.
Mm-hmm.
That's the usual practice that we see, that I see.
What about other areas of streaming? Can this also be compatible with Facebook? Facebook, I know Instagram may not have the API right now, but Facebook
Correct.
through a website.
Yeah, so YouTube, you can use a YouTube link to embed into a website anytime, so it's
Makes sense.
easy.
That makes sense.
But the good thing about StreamYard is that the way they've done it, you can simultaneously push up to six different streams at the same time. Of course, depending on the bandwidth that you have. I do have about 2 megabits of bandwidth here from my house, but it depends on how many connections that we're going to get. How many panels of people that's going to be on the panel, and that might also take up bandwidth as well. So that might take time, take some. But so from what my own research is, YouTube provide one of the better quality rather than streaming quality. You get quite clear and quite fast transmission across the network.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is okay. It's not saying it's not as good as YouTube, but
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is okay. But what I do is sometimes I simulcast Facebook and YouTube together, so they can choose whether they want to join on Facebook or they can join on YouTube.
This is good.
Yeah.
No, I definitely see a value for your service. I really do. My mind is really thinking because if we have a program that we want to do,
Right.
but let me ask you a follow-up question to that then.
Sure.
We have our own, video conferencing platform,
Right.
Big Blue Button, right?
Right.
Can we run Big Blue through? Can I be on Big Blue Button and then kind of stream it through StreamYard and Facebook?
You can. It's an overlap. You are streaming from Big Blue Button into StreamYard, like what you're seeing here. So what you see on the right, the website will be Big Blue Button.
Okay.
So you're streaming a video over a video kind of thing,
Oh, I
which
understand.
is not the best solution, but
Mhm.
of course it will take up a bit more bandwidth as well.
No, we don't want that. We don't want to do that. For branding purposes, now on my screen, I know you said it before. I do see the Sparkle customized logo there, so I see
Yeah.
that. And then at the bottom right, I see another banner that says
StreamYard.
StreamYard.
Yep.
So that could be removed, right?
It can be removed, yes.
Okay. What about the
I can-
top one? Live with StreamYard, can that be removed?
Right. That all the bottom one and the top one is actually connected. It's actually one PNG file, which,
Okay.
for example, I can shift it to this one automatically.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
So it becomes this.
Perfect.
Because this is default, I kind of want to show you that this
Exactly.
is it can be done in however you want it to be.
Okay,
Sorry
makes
about
sense.
that.
No, that's very, very encouraging. That's very, very encouraging. What about what about recording? So this streaming that we have right here, do we have the ability to have a playback?
Yes, it is being recorded right now. Whatever we were saying, I can send you a copy of what we done afterwards, if you want.
That's
Yep.
good. Oh no, I mean you checked all of my boxes. Obviously, the one that you can't control, I'm not holding that against you. It's just the
Right.
number of people that I can have on at the same time. But I just got to figure out a different solution for it. That's all. Don't worry about that. I have to figure out.
So yeah, so what I've done is I've done it with Zoom as well. So I have the panels on Zoom. So they kind of switch it. Zoom manages the panels. So whoever's coming on or whoever's speaking will be the main person on the screen. So they do that, or I use Skype. So Skype does that as well.
Okay, that's encouraging. No, you really answered all my top questions that I have right now. I think for right now, what I want to do is, how much would you charge per an event, right? So let's say I let you know 2 weeks in advance. I want to have an event with 6 people on the screen, and then our keynote speaker is going to do A, B, and C, and then we want to stream it on YouTube. And just to start from there, what's the budget for me? What does that look like?
Right. I mean, for me, I've tried to scale across different people's expectations as well. And the reason why Fiverr works is because Fiverr starts off at $5 per event per hosting. But for $5, I don't really do much, in the sense that I'm just doing this and showing you what needs to be done. But you have to bring your own host, and you bring your own content to it. Everything that needs to be. So it really depends on how much work I need to be done.
I can respect that. That's a fair question. That's a fair question. So please consider yourself. I'm very impressed. Right. So what I want to do is, today's Saturday. Thank you for your time. Monday, I'll be back in the office.
Okay.
And then I will want to compare that with my partner and say, look, we have these 2 solutions. One that will allow us to do a mass stream with some constraint, and then the other solution for the 22nd. But from what I see, there's value here. Okay, that's a good news, meaning that I can see a product, a client that I can say, look, let's do this, and then even for the educational side, right?
Nice.
I can really see that even for the educational piece. US, we're going through a lot right now, just like the rest of the world. So you can only imagine we're trying to be very creative of how we get online. If I'm a parent, I'm using as an example, as a father myself, I will want the teacher to have this. I want to be able to be at home and then have the teacher, because you can take the camera away, right? You can take the camera away.
Yeah.
So at least somebody won't say that their child is being exposed to the rest of the world. So we can take the camera function out. So that's very encouraging. And then we just get the content and the audio.
Yeah. Well, the students in this case, they don't actually get on screen. I mean, they don't get broadcasted. Only the panels, only the teachers and the assistant teachers, right? Because that's the one you want to see. It's like being in class, right? The students are just watching the teachers doing the teaching,
Right.
right? And the content can be downloaded beforehand or after the teaching, so it doesn't matter when you download the content. And you can mark it, if you use Moodle or you use something like BBB, you can actually submit all your assignments and everything onto your learning platform, and the teachers can mark it later as well. So it's basically digitizing, a lot of this teaching and a lot of this broadcasting as well.
So let me ask you a silly question. Then. So if I'm a teacher and I have a lesson all on PowerPoint, that's the easiest start.
Right.
I could be able to stream that PowerPoint right through here, but they have to go through. It has to go through you, though, right? So you have to be able to change it to the next slide.
Exactly. That's the only setback.
Yeah.
Unless we put it on Zoom, and then they control their own. That means they publish their own content on Zoom, and I'll stream Zoom onto this platform. So you on the right side you still see Zoom, but on the left you see the teachers that's going to be teaching.
Right. Okay. All right. So I think here's the takeaway for you right now. I think for our training package, right, this will be attractive. So when we have a client that wants to do only training, right, I think I will be able to leverage on this one. We just got to think of how, because any moderator will want to be in control, right? Any trainer will want to be in control of how they manage the content. So we try not to use Zoom because that's one of our competitors. We don't want to use them.
I see.
So I got to think of a way that we can manage the content without them going to another platform.
Right. So my suggestion is using what I just shown you earlier, which is AHA Slides or Kahoot, something that you get. Okay, so they will run this content on their own website, on their own, so they can go forward, in terms of the slides, and as they go forward, they are controlling what they want. For example, you can do this.
That's very encouraging. I see what you just did. That's very encouraging. So I've already have my. So does that mean that I have to create the slides on that site, or I can upload my slides already?
They support some upload, but I don't think they are PowerPoint compatible. So they have to do it. They do support some form of content creation off the site, but not where it is. Okay. You can import, but I don't think you can import PowerPoint.
Okay. Yeah. The reason I say that is I can see that you're doing that right now. I see. The reason I'm saying that, I know how people have the learning curve, right? They're very familiar with one particular application. They know the buttons. So for me to ask them to go outside their comfort zone, that's another inconvenience that we don't want to engage. But you have no idea. This is something. Now you give me some ideas. So I don't want to take much more of your time. It's 1:25 now. So give me till Wednesday, the latest.
Sure.
Right. Let me get back to you and see when we have programming. When I say programming, is when we have our schedule for training.
Right.
We can say, hey, now that we want to use this guy's services for this, either as a consultant or whatever solution that he has, and then we go from there.
Sure, that's fine. Do you need me to give you a quote later?
Not now. Let me talk to my guys and see how we're best going to use it, and then what the requirements will be, so I can come back to you and tell you that we're going to need 5 hours of your time for A, B, and C. Then you can give us a better quote from that.
Sure, that's fine.
This looks really good. You did a lot of work for us, so this looks really good.
Fantastic, right? Yeah, glad you see what the potential of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time again. Okay, enjoy your Saturday.
You too. Take care.
Thank you, sir. All right, bye.
Bye.